So finally, I am gonna enjoy what I came here for. We came here for the Bond Museum. There you go. There's the entrance. So join me as we go through our 007 experience. There goes the OG, Sean Connery. So this was from Dr. No back in 1962. And from Russia with Love in 63. These are all Sean Connery movies. And Goldfinger. The golden mannequin on the bed. If you see the movie, you will know what it's about. And then we got another Connery movie right here. It's called You Only Live Once. I mean, You Only Live Twice, I'm sorry. And that was the helicopter plane that he flew. And then there was a changing of the guard. You guys know one term, James Bond, George Lazenby. This is the car he drove. Pretty cool. This was in 1969. And then Sean Connery was recruited again in 1971 to do Diamonds Are Forever. And then we start with the Roger Moira, Live and Let Die, 1973. So obviously, year that I was born, but when I was a young boy, I got into the James Bond movie, and Roger Moore was my guy. I got more stuff over here. Whole plane in here in this museum. That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy, pretty impressive. So then we move forward to 74. The Man with the Golden Gun. I don't know if you guys remember that. And then we go to our next James Bond adventure. 1977, The Spy Who Loved Me. Still with Roger Moore. So some of the movie posters are on set. Now, this was the coolest car back then when I was growing up, the Lotus. It turned into like a submarine. Pretty crazy. Then it got a little crazy in 79. I remember this. I was living in West Palm Beach. This young boy came out in the movie theater. Moonraker. James Bond goes out of space. Crazy, crazy. Let's keep it this way. Before we go in there, I want to keep it going. There's the Lotus again. This is when it became a submarine. It's crazy how I'm seeing this in person. Now, I know a lot of these cars are replicas and they're not the one on the set, but man, they do such a good job. And it's as close as I'm going to get to the real thing, so. but pretty amazing. All right, so we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna go back into that room, but we're gonna keep it moving over here. For in 81, For Your Eyes Only. Also a Roger Moore film. It was in the Alps. A lot of skiing, a lot of snow. And you can see that in this era, Lotus was big in the James Bond movies. And then we move over to Octopussy. Big James Bond film. Introduction to the BMW. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the background. They got all the themes for James Bond. It's freaking awesome. If you're into 007, I highly recommend coming here. Octopussy was in 1983. Then we're going to Roger Moore's last James Bond film. And this was in 85, A View to a Kill. He was getting a little long in the tooth as James Bond. It was time for a change. He's legendary on the role, just like Sean Connery, the original. And then we went into the Michael Dalton era. I'm sorry, not Michael Dalton, Timothy Dalton. My mistake. And this moves 2 years later in 87. A lot of James Bond flicks are 2 years apart. Now, that's not, correct on all of them. There's some that are more apart than each other. But most of the flicks run about 2 years apart. At least they try to. Then we got License to Kill. Another Timothy Dalton film. Timothy Dalton only reprised the role of James Bond only for 2 movies, and they immediately went a different direction. So as I told you, 2 years was normally the pace, but they had to find a new James Bond. And in 95, started the era for Pierce Brosnan. I think my wife's favorite. Is it your favorite James Bond? Pierce Brosnan? So there you go. It's crazy. They have a Kenworth 18-wheeler here. It's freaking crazy. So there you go, GoldenEye. And then they went back to the theme of 2 years. So in 97, they came out with Tomorrow Never Dies. And BMW became a big part of the movie as a Bond car. And then 2 years later, The World Is Not Enough. Then it took a little longer than 2 years, but in 2002, with Halle Berry, a fan favorite, Pierce Brosnan reprised his last role as James Bond, and his era ended. And 4 years later, we got Casino Royale. And enter a new era of James Bond movies. In 2008, Quantum of Solace. And in 2012, Skyfall, which is, I gotta admit, one of the best Bond movies. I have to put it in the top tier of James Bond 007 movies. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned, but back in 2006, Casino Royale, it was the role was given to Daniel Craig. You guys know Daniel Craig, highly recognized, shorter James Bond, blonde. Did not have that good look and charm that they look for James Bond, but the guy took the role and made it his. He immediately moved up the ranks as one of the top James Bonds, in my humble opinion. In 2015, we had Spectre. Now they haven't done a viewing for Daniel Craig's last movie. But I'm sure they might be working on it. Now the amount of cars, the price of these cars is amazingly. I mean, I can't imagine how much money is there in this museum when it comes to all these cars. All right, let's enter this room right here. See some more goodies. What's crazy was before streaming came out, you know, DVD was the thing. And my goal was to collect every Bond movie with my DVDs. And, well, streaming came out. And now I can watch Bond 24/7 whenever I feel like it. And unfortunately, my DVDs are collecting dust. Never got to collect them all. I think there's about 27 Bond movies. So, never got to collect them all. But no need now. I'm streaming, so I get to watch them whenever I feel like watching 007. Hey, so I hope you enjoyed this tour of the 007 Museum. It's pretty cool that they even have that in Orlando. I'm not sure if there's a museum of this sort in London or somewhere in the UK. If there is, please leave it in the comment. Let me know. I would love to go visit it. And yeah, as I wait for the new 007 to be announced. It's been a while. So I hope you enjoyed this. Obviously, I'm not showing RVing in this video, but I was RVing in the Kissimmee, Orlando area. And that's the reason why I'm doing this. Spending a day enjoying myself at these museums. So if you like what you're seeing in this content, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. I can use all the subscribers to help me out, boost the channel. Trying to mix it up, give you RV, give you a little, maybe on a cruise, a trip, boating, going to the museum, all the stuff you do when you travel. So, yep, let me know. Thank you for joining me on this tour, and vámonos RVing.